Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my precious pack, and welcome back once more to They Are Billions, and it's time to continue off from where we left off yesterday. So we're back once more with the little tiny outpost, and it's time to get a troop center down and start laying out the groundwork to begin producing additional troops. Another thing I need to focus on, getting the workshop running and keeping it running. One thing I can't decide on exactly, well, right away, right there I chose correctly. Now, the reason I chose correctly is because I have access to metal to the southwest of the gate that you see at the bottom left of the corner. Now, the reason for this is because the snipers are very good and I can put them in towers and increase their range, and I can have them focus on the more dangerous targets, and I can start putting soldiers behind the wall so when the targets get too close, they'll be able to gun down the weaker ones, and I'll have to set them to prioritize the nearest target over the most dangerous. So, snipers take out the more dangerous targets, whereas the soldiers take out the more, like, cannon fodder creatures that are here. So, zombies don't stand a chance, and as you can see, they're still wandering up to the walls. So, we've gotten their attention. The troop center will be down. First thing I want to do is I want to get a few more rangers into each of the towers that are empty, so I can have at least one or two in each of the towers, and focus on a few other things. I'll bring you back when something major happens, or when a new set of structures goes down outside the wall, aside from that windmill. And the production of rangers has begun, and it's time to start filling out the towers, as well as lay out more cottages, because I need additional workers, as well as additional colonists. Because naturally, you want to be expanding, you want to be making full use of everything you can do, and you want to be getting lucky with who you wind up as the leaders, because some of them can provide certain unit types and things like that as you're going up that you do not have access to, and they can help you a lot. So, always expanding is a good idea. Trying not to be stagnant too heavily is something that's naturally going to be advised in a game like this. And on top of that, I have completed the research for the sniper unit, completed the research for the stone workshop, and started one of the others for the watchtowers. And I'm currently looking to expand to the south to southeast with the colony currently. I still need to establish farms at the moment, but that won't be too much of an issue as time goes on, and I get to lay them out more or less in the grass. Now, it shouldn't be too hard because the grass is actually all around, as you can see. It's just a matter of starting to set them up. And as I said, the first farm is going to be placed down. Now, one thing I could have done there is actually placed it down one further, and it would have allowed me to place another farm above it partially and make use of more grass. So I actually wasted a little bit of space there by not moving it down to the southwest by a single square. And also I'm expanding down a little bit more quickly, so. Oh. Uh-oh. And of course, I tell them to attack the one that was walking right towards it, and they disregard the order and attack one that's just walking towards them instead. Well, regardless, we'll start that one again and continue where we left off with. And research for the lookout tower is complete. Farm is complete. I need to get another thing of research going, but I also need to take care of the expanding down to the south and southeast, because there's actually a large amount of grass down here as well, so clearing out the zombies should be a priority, and laying down defenses should also be a priority. But at the moment, pardon me, at the moment the bigger priority for me should be to lay out additional sawmills to get increased lumber income, so I can start focusing very heavily on building rangers to start clearing out the areas quietly, and then start setting up the base to have snipers and infantry, well, footmen in this case. No, wait, they're infantry, they're soldiers. And set the soldiers up so that they are behind the walls to help protect against the near threats, while the snipers get to take out the dangerous targets, as I said earlier. However, that just means I need to lay out a quarry, but thankfully that isn't going to be too hard because there's actually stone right there, and due to why I placed the power pylon, I'll have access to that in no time at all. And my natural response to the Horde being announced was to begin training additional rangers, because I'm going to reinforce the eastern side of the colony, because that's the direction they're going to approach from. I'm going to start putting the soldiers up in the towers and start laying out additional ground troops, because I do not want this little colony to fall to a small group that decides that they're going to break a single wall and infect everything. So, going to put a stop to the zombies fairly quickly and fairly hard. And the Horde is nearly at the wall. They should be arriving any second. Oh, there they are. And that wasn't a Horde, that was just a very tiny group. So that Horde wasn't much of a Horde, as they were just a tiny group that got fairly easily destroyed at the walls. Although them striking in multiple areas at once did cause a few issues there, but I mean, eventually that area will be walled off as well by a secondary wall. I want to expand out in each direction so I can protect myself more easily and lay out lines of defense. But that's just going to be a matter of getting resources, getting snipers in the towers, laying out a small strike force to use consisting of rangers, and then send them out to constantly take the targets out for me. At the moment, not much is going on. I'm just setting up additional cottages within the city limits to begin increasing the colony size once again, because I need additional workers and additional colonists, because I need to get my next mayor, as well as get additional hands on the ground, because I'm using so many of them to currently man the walls in the form of rangers, and I need to start replacing them. Now, as I can pull the rangers out of the towers and start getting snipers into the towers, it'll become so much easier to start taking on the targets, as I'll be able to sweep to the southeast and east and start clearing these groups of zombies out, and begin using the area that I clear as new farmland to increase the amount of food I have, amount of space I have to build something such as a windmill, additional housing, things like that that will all benefit what I'm doing. The zombies are being dropped like flies all around the outposts, and it's time to get an additional farm down because I'm running low on food. Now, I definitely want to expand in all directions because I actually have grass all around me that I can use for farmland, as you can see. I just need to put a focus on getting the snipers out and getting the rangers back on the ground so that they can start clearing out the areas one at a time, taking down the hordes quietly, and just more or less opening up the area for my expansion. Research of the Great Ballista has just been completed, and it's time to research the next in the line, which is going to be the inn. Now, the inn is actually something that I've only used once before, because I don't play the game very often, but thanks to how I'm changing up content releases, I'll be doing so much more often. I'll be able to see exactly what it has to offer.
Choose your mayor.
New mayor choice. Raz or Rocky Bratton. Iron reserves, which would be great for building a group of snipers, but I need gold, which I don't have, or Raz, which will reduce the energy cost of my structures by 10%. As you can tell, I went with Raz to help reduce the energy costs, because while it's not a large and major change, it's still a 10% decrease, which means I have 10% more energy going to other structures and things like that. So it means I can get a little bit more out of the current levels of windmills that I have access to. Okay, stone workshop. We're going to have to try and get that taken care of in the next video because I'm running out of time with this one. But I'm probably going to clear the southern end of the map first. And I'm going to begin expanding that way with the stone workshop in the next video. But as the time is running out, and you can tell, the end of the video is coming now. So, I hope you enjoyed. Naturally, I always do. But that's going to be it. Be safe out there, my pack. Happy hunting, and as always, I'll see you later. Don't mind me as I just yawn there really quick. Well, actually, I could edit this out and you're never going to hear it. Or I could leave it in and I can continue being the tired gamer that everyone knows I am. Oh yeah, I'm definitely leaving this one in.